How much money did the post office lose last year? In fiscal year 2024, the post office reported 9.5 billion in net losses. The post office back in the news again, in the spotlight as Postmaster General Louis DeJoy reveals a new deal with Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency team. This partnership is set to reshape the future of the Postal Service with plans for mass job cuts and budget trimming aimed at improving efficiency. While the post office has faced mounting financial losses, the collaboration with Musk's team has drawn some criticism from lawmakers and unions on the left, raising concerns about privatization and the impact on rural communities. Joining us now is Rashini Rajkumar, political strategist, attorney, and host of the Crisis Files podcast. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. It's almost hard for me to even imagine those many billions in loss.
Here a billion.
Like I can't even put my brain around it.
There a billion. Every time a billion comes up, I like to remind people that that's 1,000 stacks of $1 million is $1 billion. That's a lot of stacks of $1 million.
That's a lot of stacks.
I was listening to Elon Musk a couple of weeks ago before any of this was announced or in the works, and he was saying the post office goes to every home in America to deliver mail, and he was asking out loud how many billions of dollars could be saved if the post office just did the census. You could eliminate the entire Census Bureau, which every 10 years goes and does a complete population count, because the post office already goes to every home. All you have to do is give them the form, show them how to fill it out, pick it up the next time you're back with the mail, and you do a count. And it makes sense to me. And even if that never happens or it's not practical for some reason, I like the idea of somebody taking a look at somehow making this government in this country work more efficiently, instead of just saying, oh, well, this year the post office kept it to single-digit billions in losses. Congratulations.
Yeah, I feel like we've been hearing about just the woes of the post office for at least the last 10 years. Yet you see that price of the stamp keeps on going up and up. And you wonder where is the money coming to fund the post office? Why is there all of this waste? Now, I don't know if we could completely merge the Census Bureau and the USPS, because there is kind of the art of demography, the demographics
Right.
and those kinds of experts. But it's a good point, because there is something very historic and I would say even sacred about the post office. I remember the U.S. Post. When I studied abroad during college, one of the things I loved was getting mail from the U.S. You know what I mean? Or
Right.
going to the post offices in Paris and mailing my letters back home to my family and friends. So there is something about keeping the USPS a government agency, but I do think we can try to make it efficient, smooth, and also just it needs a morale boost. And maybe this idea of giving, maybe is it 5,000, 10,000? I know they're saying they're going to let go of 10,000, but they're going to start with offering early retirements or offering retirements. Maybe that's part of boosting the morale, is get people out there that are sort of not, give them a good retirement, help them go off into the sunset and their next chapters, and let's really recruit people who can be part of a modern U.S. Postal Service. That would be my advice, but I don't have all the details. I'm not looking at all the numbers. I'm just blown away by the billions in loss.
Yeah, I'm also blown away by the fact that I can I can go buy a stamp. I think they're still under $1. I was at Costco recently. I bought 100 stamps, and I think it was about, I don't know, $75 or $80. So I was surprised because I didn't know what the cost of a stamp was. But so it's somewhere in that range, less than $1. But I can put a card in the mail right here in Michigan. It'll get to you in Minneapolis in a couple of days for $1. I think that's amazing.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing.
Right?
I just put a card in the mail to my cousin in London yesterday. It's a little more. It's like $1 something. Maybe it's under $2, and it's not going to be 2 days, but probably within 2 weeks, he's going to get that card. And I mean, we both went about our lives, and it cost me less than $2.
Right.
So, I mean, those are the kinds of things that we do need to respect and celebrate about the USPS. And maybe they just need better PR folks, because that never comes out in the narrative. It's always about the losses. It's always about just, oh, we don't get our mail on Saturdays, or oh, this or that. I mean, that's another thing. They work a 6-day week.
Right, right.
I mean, not most of the country does. You don't work a 6-day week unless you're, doing some side gigs on the weekends.
On Sundays, I'm preparing for Monday's show. It feels like
Oh,
6
okay.
days. Feels like it. But on the other hand, what is going on with those Amazon trucks that keep running up and down my street all day long? They seem to be everywhere, all over the country, delivering stuff, and they seem to do it for a profit.
Exactly. And this is where the government bookkeepers, accountants, need to really look at what they're doing and look at the best practices in the industry. Now, it's not to say Amazon doesn't have some waste. I mean, there's a lot of packaging waste that I think we are very aware of. So what do you do with all of that? But there is absolutely a way to make this more efficient. Maybe you go to people. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Do you need a college degree to be a delivery person? I really don't know. But maybe that is an option for people who don't want to go to a 4-year degree. And here you get a government job with benefits. And I'm on a street right now, Kevin, talking with you, and there's a postal truck driving my way. That is, like, it makes me smile.
That's amazing.
Whenever I see a postal truck, a postal worker walked the dog yesterday. We happened to walk by the postman. He stopped, petted my dog. I mean, it should be a happy profession.
Well, open your paycheck and look at the part of taxes paid, federal taxes, and then you won't be quite as happy when you see how much money you're paying for that postal truck to be there. I suspect the real issue is somewhere with pensions and things like that. And I don't know, you can't break your promises on what you agreed to pay people, but maybe there's a way to restructure, and there's another way to do it.
Exactly. I do think that's what we don't fully understand, the regular American public, but there are those pensions. Same with police officers, firefighters. There are those federal pensions. And what it does take is for the government to sit down and be better at bookkeeping. I mean, I'm a small business owner. I don't even like $5,000 in loss in 1 year, let alone billions. I mean, I would be freaking out if there was anything more than a few $1,000s that was just, whatever, however you want to identify the loss. So we have to just go back to common accounting principles and bookkeeping. And really, the Congress is where it's at. They hold the power of the purse. They need to be better watchdogs of the United States national checkbook.
Rashida Rajkumar, political strategist, attorney, and host of the Crisis Files. Appreciate you coming on this morning.
Thanks, Kevin.